So Jamie, the Miami Dolphins, for the last 10 seasons, they only made one playoff appearance, which was against the in the wild card game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. They lost that game, but they haven't won a playoff game since 2000. And what's funny about that is that I saw that game when they beat the Colts in 2000. I remember like it was yesterday. I was only like 8, 9 years old. So it's amazing that it's been that long that they haven't won a playoff game. I know that it's a misery for my people in Miami. I got a little love for Miami. I've been there 4 times, one of my favorite cities. But what the question is, what do you think the Dolphins need in order to finally make the postseason? Because they came close this past season. So what do you think that they're missing to get to that ultimate level?
So the problem with Miami is continuity. I'm gonna be honest with you. We will have a good group of veterans every year. I think the year that we did do really good under Adam Gase, who, by the way, is trash. You can quote me on that. We had a running game. We had an amazing offensive line. Our defense was still intact. Tannehill was doing his thing. And if it wasn't for Calais Campbell, I remember the game. Calais Campbell, Jaguars game, he jumped on top of Tannehill's leg, injured his leg, never played like a down in the playoffs. We went to the playoffs with Matt Moore. I was like crying. But the reason Miami doesn't do anything is continuity. They honestly have an issue where if they play the blame game, they've had GMs, they have vice presidents, coaches arguing with each other in the organization. And then Stephen Ross is like, he's new. Like at that time, he was so new, he didn't know what he was doing. He just literally would clean house. Whoever's arguing, he'd clean house, he'd pick a side, clean house. He did it with Donna Ponce, firing Joe Philbin. He did it with now Adam Gase. He just like he wanted to get an offensive guru. And now we're doing it again. He went Brian Flores. And it was different. That was like defense. But as you can see with that experiment, Brian Flores with the whole lawsuit and everything wasn't a very good idea. Brian Flores was an amazing defensive coordinator, just like Rex Ryan. Rex Ryan was amazing for the Baltimore Ravens. But when he went to the Jets, we can all say he was not a good head coach. He took them pretty far, but he wasn't a good head coach. Same thing with Brian Flores. Brian Flores, for all the good seasons he had, we need that coach that's going to take us to the next level. He didn't really like Tua. He didn't really like the organization not being able to draft himself. So after asking for more, that was a big issue. He didn't get what he wanted, so the GM and him started bickering, and he got thrown out. Just like Stephen Ross, he picked a side again, the owner. He went with Chris Greer. So now we have Mike McDaniels. This man can change it. He's literally the Jimmy Johnson minded, like offensive minded coach that we needed. Miami had Jimmy Johnson for one season, and you can go back. That season, they did so amazing. And if it wasn't for Jimmy Johnson's mom passing away, who knows what would have happened. But Mike McDaniels has a chance to just change everything, and he has a chance to just turn our team into, honestly, I think we have the AFC championship potential. All we need is offensive line. We have $53 million. I can't stand Tua. I'm sorry, I can't stand him. But we got all the money to spend on offensive line. We have an amazing top 5 defense. We got finally a genius at coaching. We still got continuity finally, I think, in our defense because we kept everybody from the defensive coordinator side. So all I'm hoping is they really want to go with Tua, which I don't want. Honestly, I want Kenny Pickett out of Pittsburgh. We get him the weapons he needs. They already took Amari Cooper, so I'm going to say just get as much offensive line as possible and we just attack the draft. Attack the draft for offensive studs. We have the 29th pick. For the love of God, get a running back. We passed Najee Harris. We passed Jonathan. Oh my God, that was the worst one. My boy, out of the running back out of the Colts. That guy, I think he got picked 30. We passed him. Miami needs continuity, and now with this new dude, Mike McDaniels, he's gonna bring that energy we didn't have, and he's gonna honestly take us to the championship, AFC Championship. I'm calling it right now.
Oof, that's a bold prediction right there, AFC Championship. But hey, but I absolutely agree that Miami do need to strengthen their offense. If they would have gotten Amari Cooper, that would have been huge, huge. And the great thing about it is that he's still in his 20s. He's in his prime. So it's a big loss for the Dallas Cowboys, but that's a huge upgrade for the Cleveland Browns because now, you know, their QB have someone that you could throw it to that you can count on. But that if Miami would have gotten him, that would have been automatically huge. I also agree that I'm not really too sold on Tua, however you say his name. But for now, I'm just not so. I just don't see. I just don't see that heart of a lion, that heart of a champion in him. I just don't see it so far yet. And I don't like making excuses for young quarterbacks because look at what Joe Burrow did in his second season with the Bengals. He took him to the Super Bowl, and I knew that Joe Burrow had that wanted factor because of how he performed in LSU. So that there's guys that they play so elite at a quarterback level or at any position in college that don't really transition that to the pros. But there's a few that I could look at and I said, I feel like that person has the wanted factor. And I saw it in Joe Burrow. And so far, he has delivered. And
very much does.
Yeah, but I just don't see it in this QB of the Dolphins so far. Jimmy Johnson, man, I feel like Jimmy Johnson's tenure with the Dolphins is overlooked because of so much he accomplished with the University of Miami and also with the Dallas Cowboys. Jimmy Johnson, to me, is one of my favorite / best coaches that I didn't get to fully experience on TV. Because when I got into NFL, it was around late 1999 when it was basically the start of postseason. And when I started watching football, it was Dan Marino's last season, and it was Jimmy Johnson's last season with the Dolphins. So I remember that, yeah, and it was sad because no great player, no great coach deserves to go out like the way they went out, getting blown the fuck out by the Jacksonville Jaguars, 62-7 in the divisional round game. That was horrific. So, but the Miami Dolphins, they just need that offense. They need those weapons because, like I said, they came close, making the postseason this past season. But it's time, man. It's time. They've only made one playoff appearance in the last 10 seasons. It's just time. So, yeah, they need to do something about it in the draft. They gotta draft guys well. So the Dolphins front office, they gotta put their big boy pants on, do their homework, and get the right positions, get the running backs, get them offensive linemen. They need to scout better.
So honestly, I believe their excuse, they always have this excuse. I believe that they're gonna have what we call the coach and the GM are gonna do a little duo together, and they're gonna actually work together and establish who they want. Unlike with Brian Flores, the last coach, there was no working together. It was, I want this guy. Chris Greer's arguing, the general manager of the Dolphins, I want this guy. And then, who has the say in the end? The general manager. What happens? The coach gets pissed, and then you have internal arguing. With this now, I really am confident they're going to go now and get a running back, hopefully inside. I think everything's going to be taken care of by free agency. So hopefully Monday, this is all established. But the draft, we really, really have to focus on whoever is the future. It has to be like a future cornerstone. It can't just be a regular offensive line, which everybody in their draft mocks have Miami getting an offensive lineman, no matter what. But I'm really confident Miami's going to change it. This is the season where we make the playoffs. It'll be his first year making the playoffs. They got great defense. We might even steal somebody from New England. We might steal their best corner because they don't want to pay him. New England never pays anybody. So either we take them or the Giants, they go, here's $100 million, then they'll take them.
It's funny because, Miami Dolphins and then the NBA team, Miami Heat, they both from the same city, but the culture is so different because the way the Miami Heat works, like Miami, like I said, I've been to Miami 4 times. I love the culture there. It's a city, that is known for sunshine, nightlife, et cetera, et cetera. But Miami is also a city that is very hardworking city, hardworking individuals. So the Miami Heat, when they got Jimmy Butler said this on the JJ Redick podcast. Before Miami Heat, Jimmy Butler had this unfair reputation that he was a bad teammate, that he's difficult to work with because it wasn't working out with Chicago, Minnesota, Philadelphia. But when it came to having meetings with the Miami Heat, and this is why Pat Riley is so great in the front office as the president. The front office, and I know Pat Riley had something to do with this, they told Jimmy Butler, like, we work here, nothing drastic, but we work here and we want you to help us win. So the way the Miami Heat organization works is that they're not thinking about 5 years, 10 years. They're thinking about in it to win it now. And that's what drove Jimmy Butler to say, you know what? I think this could work here. And it has been working. He finally found a home. He found a better situation. And that's something that the Dolphins need to do when they draft these players. You got to draft players that, you got to set the tone. You got to set the tone for the team, for the players, and say, we're in it to win it now. Don't think about 5-10 because you look what Buffalo's doing. Look what the Patriots are doing. Patriots without Tom Brady, they had an impressive season making it to the playoffs. So you got to look at these teams in your division. You can't wait. You can't wait. You got to go for it now. So if it were up to me, being a GM or a president of that organization, the way I think, I don't think about being greedy. I think about, like, I want to win. I want to fucking win. So I got to do whatever it takes, to put it all together. And you got to work with them. You got to work with them. You got to work with them. Like when it comes to championships and playoffs and things like that, yes, the organization has something to do with it, but at the end of the day, the players got to go out there perform. But it all starts with drafting the right guys. Make sure you take care of them. Make sure you got to let them know from the beginning, setting the tone. We're in it to win it now. I hate when teams say, we're going to compete in 5 years, 10 years. I don't like hearing that.
Well,
go for it now.
Real.
Yeah. But I'm a guy that likes to win, bro. I'm a winner. I hate losing. And that's something that even applied to my own career. I hate losing, but I just use that as motivation to feel so. But the Miami Dolphins, I should expect at least 10 wins this season coming up. At least 10 wins.
Tough schedule.
Yeah, it's a tough schedule. But I expect 10 wins because after what I saw from them this season, I should expect them to take it a little bit up a notch this season. And plus, now that the playoff format is a little bit much more bigger, they should have a chance.
Honestly, that was money. That whole playoff format, definitely, it's all money. Add another game for the NFL, but you need you need like that extra wild card, especially for Miami. I'm sorry. We don't have this like team ready, like we're gonna win the division. You got like Matt Jones. He's Mac Jones, apologies. He's pretty much killing it over there in New England. And then you got Salah killing it in New York Jets. The Bills are gonna run that division. I'm sorry for the next 2 years. So I'm all in on the wild card. But it all depends on Tua. Tua, if he doesn't step up, we give him all these weapons, we will have wasted our time. We should have gotten Deshaun Watson, and that's what I wanted from the start. There's nothing else out there that I would have wanted in this draft other than Deshaun Watson. You give what's 3 first-round picks? We had, I think, we had consecutive years with 2 first-round picks. I can tell you 4 of the guys that we drafted in the first round, none of them are Hall of Famers right now. Okay. Deshaun Watson is already an elite quarterback. We have Jalen Phillips. Okay. Jalen Phillips is a monster. They want him to be Jason Taylor. He's not going to be Jason Taylor, but they want him to be really bad. Hopefully, we'll give him another year. Jason Taylor, in his first year, rookie year, did amazing things. Zach Thomas did the same thing. You know when they're crazy stars. We passed on Micah Parsons for Jalen Phillips. So I already hate him. But that's another story because Micah Parsons just set the rookie record for the Cowboys in tackles. But hey, it's all good. Then we got Noah Iguodala. That's literally his name. He's a corner that starts at 5th string, and he's a first-round pick. Okay. And we have Austin Jackson, who's our left tackle, and Miami's already saying we need a new left tackle because we're putting him at left guard because he's so bad at left tackle, they throw him on the floor. Like the guy, I'm sorry. There's just some people, it's a transition. I understand you got college. It's a different, smaller people, smaller bodies. Then you go to the NFL, bigger bodies. Nobody's going to cover Aaron Donald. But there's people that can, okay? You go to my boy, I believe his name is Quentin Nelson in the Cowboys. The guy will pancake Aaron Donald like nothing. But we need guys like that. Like I love Notre Dame. I love Alabama. Those left tackles, guards, those guys will push the run game. And honestly, that's pretty much what we're going to end up getting. 1,000%. If we give up those picks, I honestly believe Deshaun Watson gives us a Super Bowl. Do I think we're going to do it? No. Chris Greer already notified everybody that they're all in. That's why they hired this coach. He convinced them with all his magic that he's going to give Tua the VIP treatment. We're going to just give him everything, give him a running back, a wide receiver, offensive line, and hopefully we Trent Dilfer this and just like the Ravens, we just give him a Super Bowl. That's it. Hopefully, please God. That's what Chris Greer is hoping, and I hope that happens as well. But if that doesn't happen, what scares me is Deshaun Watson goes to a team and does amazing, and they win the bowl. And again, Miami missed out on another quarterback who could have taken us to the Super Bowl. We did it with Drew Brees. You saw Brian Flores just admit we did it with Brady too, because Brady wanted to stick it to the Patriots and join Miami Dolphins. His second option was Tampa. What happened? We said no, and Brady went to Tampa, and now we're about to do it with Watson. So 3 strikes, Miami. You're killing me right now.
It's just bad decision. The Deshaun Watson, I know that a lot of teams are hesitating to get him because of the whole situation that he's dealing with, which we don't know what it is. But we just gotta hope to see what happens with the Dolphins. And where's Dan Marino when you need him?
He's right there. He's watching the games. That's the worst part. They show his face every time, and he's like this. under his mask watching Tua throw like 10 yards.
Oh man. Well, Jamie, we're gonna end it there. Uh like I said, let's see what happens in the draft and this whole entire offseason, and hopefully the Dolphins can make some solid moves.
Thank you, my brother. And I'm if not, I'm gonna personally go and be the general manager myself. I will stand outside the stadium with a sign and I'll say, I will work for free. Please God, help my team win a Super Bowl.